Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and we're live tonight from Geneseo High School for the Geneseo girls volleyball matchup with the Maroons of Moline High School. And tonight I'm going to be going alone at it, Mr. Kennett, so I'm going to give it my best to keep up on play and hope that Lina's freshman game is going to be over soon, and I know that Michelle's at her own volleyball game coaching tonight, so I'm going to do my best to bring you a little play-by-play tonight. Our starters for the Geneseo, number 4, Lauren Johnson should be your setter. Kylie DeJohn, outside hitter, Hannah Copeland. Your middle hitter, Alicia Perez. Your right side hitter, Cami Ludwig. Your outside hitter, Bailey Housengay. Your defensive specialist, and Delaney Van Rickey, your libero. So Lauren's going to start it off tonight for us. She has a nice jump serve to the middle, into the net for an ace. Good way for Lauren to start things off tonight with an ace. And she has a nice jump serve, just barely catches the top of the net. It's a good offensive way to start tonight. Lauren passes to the middle. Moline runs a quick set to their big number 14, and she gets a kill to square it all up at 1 for the match tonight. Moline goes into the service position, and Geneseo is on defense. Again, Lauren Johnson's going to be your setter. Pass goes up to Lauren. She puts an outside hit to Kylie, and just a little bit low in the elbow, and goes in the net for a point for Moline. Moline is to serve again. Hannah handles that well, and set is a little bit tight for Lauren to handle, and Moline was up on that, and so they did go out of bounds for a point for Moline. Van Rickey makes a really nice pass up to Lauren. Hannah attempts to push it, and our 7th man comes into play to help us out there. Ball goes off the ceiling and down to the floor on Moline's side, point for Geneseo. 2-3 in favor of Moline. Back to serve is number 23, Delaney Van Rickey, the libero. She makes a nice deep pass on the left side. Angle pass. The ball is out of bounds, and the point goes to Geneseo, squaring it all up at 3. Girls made a nice play on that angle to let that go at the 10-foot line. Nice deep serve again by Delaney. And Moline's a real strong hitter, takes and dinks it right at the 10-foot spot on our side of the court, and it falls to the floor. So Moline will serve. Cami handles it with her fingers, and Hannah puts it into the block, and it comes back. Geneseo goes up for the block, and it does come down on our side, point to Moline. A couple things that the girls got to really keep in mind. It's that number 1 pass, and getting it into Lauren's hands, and giving her a chance to run a strong offense. And there's a good pass to get us going. Back set. And the block is by Alicia Perez and Hannah Copeland. Really nice job of sealing the block. Gets a point to Geneseo. Moline's set is pretty low, and the outside hitter is unable to make a clean hit. Point to Geneseo. Hannah Copeland is back on the service line for Geneseo. Libero makes a nice pass for Moline, outside set. And ball hits the deep corner inside the lines. Point to Moline. So Hannah stays in to serve receive. Moline is set to serve, scores 5-6 in favor of Moline. A little bit of an errant pass there. One of those things that both Alicia and Lauren were chasing after. It's tough when you have to go full court to be able to make that second hit. overpass. And Moline makes Geneseo pay the ultimate price for that overpass. Point to Moline, score is 8-5 in favor of Moline. Again, defense, we'll take that. That's a good point for us on service error. And into the lineup for Geneseo is number 15, Aubrey Van Kierbrock. Alicia Perez is back to serve. Makes a really nice jump serve. And hitter for Moline puts it down the line, scores a point. 6-9 in favor of Moline. Emma Frank is also in the lineup, and she's playing in the middle. She makes that pass, nice pass. Pushes it outside to Aubrey Van Kierbrock. Ball is hit out of bounds. Point to Geneseo. That was a nice offensive set for the Lady Leaves. Showed good patience with getting a good pass, good set, and then coming back and playing nice defense and calling that ball out of bounds. Cammie Ludwig was your server. Cammie hit a real nice one to a deep corner. And ball is tipped over top the block, and it's a point to Moline. Libro comes back in for Cammie Ludwig. Moline to serve, score 7-10 Moline. Emma Frank makes a nice pass. Alicia makes a nice set. Right off the top of the tape by Van Kierbrock. Off the block, picked up really nice. Quick set to Frank. And Emma just barely missed that outside line, point to Moline. A little bit of mix-up in communication there with their Lady Leafs. I think everybody else thought everybody else had a better angle on it. Coach Kamel makes a defensive shift for serve receive. And it's service ace on the line. That's a tough spot. Tough spot for most anybody to pick up when you can hit that angle that is between your, what would be your right front and your right back. Alicia makes a nice save on second hit to keep the ball alive. Moline runs a really nice middle hit for point 14. Score is 14-7 in favor of Moline. Again, it goes back, Lady Leaves just need to have a good defensive pass and just let things take care of itself. Hannah makes a great save on that to keep the ball alive on both the first and third hits. Moline goes high and wide outside and off the block of Geneseo, a point to Moline. Good timeout by Coach Kamel. I think Moline, if I've got it right, has been on about a 5-6 point run, and it's a good place to kind of break this up. We are struggling a bit to get a point on service. Most of it is on loss of service that we're scoring our points, and so this is an opportunity for us to regroup, get back in the huddle, just talk about defensive schemes, give the girls a chance to catch their breath, and we're hoping that this timeout is going to be a momentum breaker that favors the Leafs, and Geneseo is able to get the ball back and get service going for them. We are at Geneseo High School live. We're in the first game. There's 15 seconds left in the first timeout called by Geneseo, and your score in the first game is Geneseo 7, Moline 15. For those of you at home that don't follow a lot of volleyball, Moline so far has been the Western Big Six leader, and so they are a contender for the title. back row hit by Hannah Copeland was really nice. Out of bounds. So for fans at home that are watching, you've seen that was a really nice series by the Lady Leafs. Started with a good first pass, good set. Kylie made a good first and third. Lauren had a good set for her. And then they mixed up the offensive scheme and used Hannah as a back row hitter, which proved very effective. Nice soft shot there by Kylie DeJohn. Scores a point for Geneseo. So a little bit of shift in momentum coming here, and that's a good thing for the Lady Leafs right now. Moline knows where their go-to is. Their number 14 is one of the better players in the Western Big Six. And you could see that there in the fact that she was up against a double and she was able to find the seam in between it to score the point. Bailey Housengate makes a really nice pass, a little quick shot to Hannah Copeland, a little bit out of her reach. She's able to get a hand on it. Double block, worked out pretty good. Need to get back into an offensive scheme here. Bailey Housengate sends a free ball over for Geneseo. And again, that little spot over here on the 10-foot spiking line right behind the block is a little bit of an opening for Geneseo, and Moline so far has been capitalizing on that. So the score is 9-17. Geneseo got a couple points, get back in it here. So we can use the momentum shift right away again to get back on the scoreboard. Nice series, just a little bit wide for Hannah, and point to Moline. Bailey Housengate makes first pass to Alicia. Kylie DeJohn makes a really nice down hit and scores point for Geneseo, making it 10-18, 10-18. Lauren's gone back to the service line, and again, she's got that really nice jump serve, and we can use a couple premier shots right now. That's a good one. Moline had a little bit of trouble handling it, and Hannah Copeland goes solo for the block. That is a primary example for folks at home that are watching of how she lines up the shoulder of the hitter and takes that hitter on one-on-one. And proved very, very effective for the Lady Leafs. And Hannah gets her solo block, and now she goes on offense. So a little bit of opportunity to see Hannah Copeland at work right now, and she's made two key plays for the Lady Leafs right now, along with the rest of her team, of course, and getting this back to a 6-point match right now, 12-18. Lauren serves just a little bit long. I thought when I seen it leave her hand, it might have a chance of finding that end line, but it was a bit long. So makes the score 12-19 for Moline's favor. Hannah makes the first handle. Delaney comes in and makes a really, really nice save, and Lauren puts it over on third. A little bit of scrambling for the Lady Leaves there. Girls get a hand on the block. Alicia makes a really, really, really sweet off-speed shot, and Alicia Perez scores herself a really, really nice kill. That off-speed is really hard for teams because they're setting up for that defensive attack that hits those strong areas in and around your 10-foot line, and so that changeup is effective. Ball was served into the net, so serve does go back to Moline with your score 13-20. Bailey Housengate, Delaney Van Rickey, and Lauren Johnson makes a really hustle play to get that third shot off, but a lot of times when you're hustling like that, it's hard for you to get reset again and get back into your defensive pattern to defend against Moline. So Moline serving at 21. Really short serve one of those things, if you looked at our defense, the way we set up for the previous serve, which was a deep one, and number 14, she's a smart player, hits it short and finds a spot that's tough for us to handle. A little quick set to Hannah, a little bit low. She needs a little bit more air. Back set to Alicia for the kill. Again, nice spot. And so we're seeing some key plays by Alicia Perez coming up with some really, really nice kills. Hannah's got a couple blocks and got a couple kills. We just need more of that offensive pattern. That looked like a double hit to me, but it's out of bounds. So since it's out of bounds, it's all a wash. So that gives Geneseo the 15th point, and Hannah's still back at the service line. Really nice pass by Moline. Tries a quick shot. So good hustle by the girls. A lot of times on that angle when it's short and you're coming in at your angle toward the sideline, a lot of times that's going to go out of bounds, and that's what it did. So Moline steps back for 23rd point, and the ball hits off the top of the tape, drops on the floor for Geneseo. Game point for Geneseo. Ball served out of bounds, point to Geneseo. Bad thing about rally scoring is that in order for Geneseo to win this match, they would have to serve out 9 points. And all that Moline needs to do is get a kill like that, and they've won the game. So the first game does go to Moline, 25-16. 25-16. So some key points. We saw good momentum by the Lady Leaves when they were able to get that first pass. That is absolutely critical. And the second part that's absolutely critical is getting the momentum. And midway through the match, you were able to see that they were able to gain a little momentum and kind of started to creep back into the game. And so it would be a challenge for the girls to take those things now and transfer them into this second game. They showed really bright spots in their play, even though the score might not reflect it. A few key elements here that they have the potential to do, and that's to get into a good series. Starts with a good first pass. With that first pass, that gives you a chance to set up your offense and then gives you other keys. Alicia Perez had 3 assists. Lauren Johnson had 2 assists. Cami Ludwig had a kill. Anna Copeland had a couple of kills. She had a solo block. She had an assist on a block. And that assist was with Alicia Perez. And so Kylie DeJohn also stepped up. I believe she had 3 kills. And so there are those factors that are very evident in the play of Geneseo that would be things that they would need, which would be a positive thing moving forward for them into the second game. So we're at about at 1:43, so if you want to go grab your bag of popcorn, if you throw it in the microwave, you got 36 seconds to get that minute bag of popcorn before we get started on the second game here. Players are back on the floor before the end of what would be intermission between game 1 and 2, so we're going to get a little bit of an early start here. Moline, Geneseo had first serve first game, so it'll be Moline first serve second game. Couple things we want to do while we have a minute. We want to thank our sponsors, Hazelwood Homes, Geneseo Communications, Turpins of Geneseo, Buzzworks Automotive, Geneseo Fitness, Eric Henderson and Jolene Effner of Country Financial, Central Bank, Vandermoor Funeral Home, Hammond Henry Hospital, Vorak Pharmacy, Brian Garnett of Garnett Asset Management, and Farmers National Bank. Make sure you stop in and thank the TV50 supporters. So Moline started things off and gave the momentum right back to Geneseo by serving the ball out of bounds. And Laura Johnson steps the line and starts it off with an ace. And so Geneseo goes up 2-0. And those are factors that are really important, like I talked about earlier, for the girls as they move forward to take those elements that they did well first game and transfer those into the second game here. So that would be 2 service aces in a row for Miss Lauren Johnson. And so she's got the Lady Leaves off to a really, really strong start, and that's really nice to see tonight. It's encouraging to see the girls step up, even though the first game didn't go very well, to step up and take advantage of their strengths in the second game. Nice pass to the middle. They go out to their big hitter. Hannah makes a really nice save off the ceiling. Keep the ball in play. Their libero hits a down ball. Alicia Perez tries that changeup again. She almost got it. And Geneseo does a better job of covering that dink. And there's a joust at the net. And Moline does win the point. So some good things there for Geneseo. They're in a place right now where they need to continue to do the things they did well, just simply in the first 3 points, and just do it in those little smaller increments. Lauren tried really nice. Now, for the folks at home that are wondering why did they call that dead, since she actually was able to hit the ball into play. If you see the red and white antennas, the ball has to remain inside of those antennas any time it goes over. In that instance, the ball was touched outside of the antennas, and that does make it out of bounds. So that last series, folks, is one of the things that we just love to see in volleyball. It's that good first pass, that really nice short set to Hannah, and she gets the kill. Ball served out of bounds by Delaney. Moline will go back to serve, scores 4-3 in favor of Geneseo. So again, incremental things here. We need to do it in 2 or 3 point bursts and not give away those 2 and 3 point bursts to Moline. Hannah tries for that deep spot. You've seen her say she knew where it was at. She was just a little bit wide. She had a great idea. Coach Kamel's giving Lauren some strategy for putting the ball in different places. My guess is that's what she just said. Let's go see what Cammie Ludwig can do. And what does Cammie do? Steps up and gets herself a kill. And so that was a nice mix-up, and good job by Coach Kamel just to get Lauren settled down again and say, you know what, let's just mix it up a little bit and see what Cammie can do, and it was a great outcome. Hannah Copeland's back to serve. That meant Emma Frank came in the center. Girls get a nice block up and get the ball slowed down. And Lauren pushed a little bit outside the antennas, and that's a ball that's really tough for a lot of hitters to get a good clean hit on. So I think our freshman game is done. It looks like our officials have come back, and I think they might be going to be a line judge. So you might see 2 more people in the officiating crew come out here in a couple minutes, possibly. Hannah makes a now nice down ball. First pass by Hannah. Lauren does a nice job of fielding that off the middle partition, but Delaney hits it out of bounds. So it's a point to Moline. So girls, this is a good opportunity. We need that first pass. It's time to get the momentum back, and let's square this at 6. There's the first part. There's this pass. There's the set. And Alicia, Moline makes a nice save. Oh, off the top of the net. Geneseo picks it up. Cammie finds a spot. Nicely done, girls. And that speaks just so much to the girls to be in a position where they can still stay on offense, still make positive changes, and that advancement then scores them a point. And so we're all square at 6. Officials conference, I'm not sure the other 2 officials that were over at the freshman game, one of them stated something to the umpire. And it looks like they're getting their flags out, and they're coming out to be line judges. So there'll be a little bit of pause in the action. And so for folks at home, we're in game 2 here at Geneseo High School. The match is between the Lady Maroons of Moline High School and your Geneseo Lady Leaves. And our little pause was to get our officials from the freshman game out onto the court as our line judges. And so the second game score is 6-6. Nice jump serve by Alicia Perez for an ace. Ace by Perez puts the Lady Leaves up 7-6. Oh, that's a tough one when that the passer for Moline had no intention of sending that ball that quickly back to the net, and Aubrey Van Kierbrock tried to respond to it, but she's just a little bit late, and so the ball dropped down in front of her. But the Lady Leaves come right back and make a great call on ball out of bounds. And they go back up in this game, 8-7. Cami Ludwig is back to serve. She floats a little one short. They run it quick out of the middle. Geneseo picks it up nicely. Kylie DeJohn comes in, makes a nice hit. Hannah covers the line well that time. Kylie does a down ball. And who do they go to when they need the point? Their big outside hitter, number 14. So again, we're all knotted up at 8. So Geneseo, here's your opportunity. Nice pass. Let's kind of keep this shift our way here. You know, a little bit of increments, a little bit at a time. Starts right there with a good pass to Perez. Aubrey makes a attempt at a hit at the 10-foot line, and it hits the top of the net and goes down on Geneseo's side. So the score is 9-8 in favor of Moline. Down ball by Hannah. Oh. Moline runs a really sweet, quick out of the middle. I think you've probably seen Geneseo run that a couple times with Hannah Copeland, and that's very effective. It's hard to defend, and you got to really make sure you get them sealed on that block. So Moline helps us out a little bit, serves the ball out of bounds, making the score 9-10 in favor of Moline. Bailey Housengate back at the service line for the Lady Leaves. She gets a nice floater into the middle back. And a little miss hit by the Moline player. And that knots it all up at 10. Bailey serves again into the left back. Emma Frank, solo block. Very nice by Emma Frank in the middle. And kind of contains their big hitter for Moline. And what a boost of confidence for these ladies to see that they have the ability to do that against their big hitter. Hits it out of bounds. No touch. Geneseo goes up 12-10. 12-10 Geneseo, making a nice run here. Again, it's about increments. It's about 2 or 3 here and there, and just making sure that you don't give up that same run to Moline. So Moline runs a really nice slide on that number 1 that time, and they do score the point in the deep court of Geneseo. So score is 12-11 for fans that might be just drop it in. We're in the second game. Scores 12-11 in favor of your Lady Leafs right here at Geneseo High School. Kind of one of those things where it's my ball, it's your ball. No, it's neither of ours, and it drops to the ground. Point to Moline. Free ball, hit by Emma Frank. Back set, out of bounds. So if you see that player, number 9 for Moline, it was easy to read that as being a ball that was going out of bounds just because of where her point of attack was. You could clearly see that the ball was a lot higher than what her attack hand would be, and the only place that's going to go is out of bounds. So it's easy for the girls to read that just by the position of the player as they go into attack. Geneseo does a better job of picking up that middle free ball. Over to Moline, quick in the middle. So Hannah and Kylie got a hand on it, and but it wasn't enough to either block it completely or be able to hit it back for Geneseo. And so the scores all tied up at Old Lucky 13. We'll take a net serve anytime. Giving the 14th point to the Lady Leaves. In the lineup comes Cammie Ludwig. She'll be hitting out left front. Delaney Van Rickey will be your server. She is your libero. Good pass by the left front for Moline. They send it right back to her. And Geneseo was in the net. It's a net call on Geneseo. So that knots their score up again at 14. So we're all tied up here. Geneseo's doing a really nice job of being real competitive in this game. Starts with stuff like that. Good pass, good set. Cammie makes a good strike on it. Moline blocks it out of bounds. Goes to your Lady Leaves. 15-14. And back at service line is Hannah Copeland. Nice cross court on that angle. That was really the only angle to hit her head was to go outside the hands. Outside of that, the girls had it sealed up pretty good for line, and so that was the only place she could go was really a quick cut, and she was able to make a nice hit on the ball. Alicia Perez tallies herself another kill on a really, really nice cross-court hit. Lauren Johnson goes out of the lineup. That brings in Aubrey Van Kierbach. Service ace. Oh! Line judge called that out of bounds. And I think we're going to have a conference between the umpire and the referee. Ladies and gentlemen, that was probably one of the finest shows of a powerful crew, a group working together on the part of our officials. Sometimes we're pretty critical of them, but what they did was they got together in conference, they got everybody involved, and from where I was in my perspective, I believe the outcome to be correct is that the point had gone to Geneseo. So obviously there would be no bias there, Mr. Kennett, right? But that was a great display of teamwork by the officiating crew. I give huge props to the umpire for having the ability to do that and to say, you know what, let's just talk about it. He didn't say right away that he was going to reverse it. Because it's important when you work as a team, as officials, as I've found out for many years, is that you're a crew of four. And it's really important that you don't make anybody feel maybe that they can't do their job or that they were wrong or whatever it would be. And then props to the line judge. She gets right back into it and makes a really nice call on that back line. And so that's just a great thing, I think, for a lot of people to see tonight. However, I didn't like the outcome that it was served out of bounds, but Geneseo is still up 18-16. So starts off with a little bit of a pass here. Set Hannah in the back row. And she gets top of the tape. It was a nice approach, nice hit. So here we are in one of those increments. We don't want to give up 2 or 3 in a row to Moline. And so Girls, it's time for a really nice pass. Oh, and that's hard. I'll give you guys that one because that net serve, that was one thing when I was in my playing days that was easy for me to say I'm done playing because, you know, they don't allow the offense to have a strategy against that let serve, and so it just makes it tough for the girls. So a little bit of kind of a mix up there with call for the set. Emma was a little bit quicker than the angle that was put on the set by Alicia. Overset. So again, here we are in the increments. It's been a 3-point rally by the Moline Maroons, and so it's time for Geneseo to get that good first pass, and let's squelch this run for Moline. Again, that little spot in behind the block has been a bit of a nemesis for the Lady Leafs. And so it's kind of broke our momentum here. A couple things that I've seen that we were doing well in the start were that first pass, keeping a good offensive attack going, and missing a couple blocks there. We got a couple blocks in that first part of that second game that really played advantageously for us. And so it's time for us to go back into the barrel, find those things that do work for us, the things that work well, and time to rewind and go find those things from earlier in this game and get momentum back on our side. Because, like I said, I think Moline's on a 5-point run now. So volleyball, it's about momentum, and it's about keeping the runs to a minimum. And so right now is a critical time for the Lady Leaves in this second game. I'm glad Moline's picked that up because that was out of bounds. Oh. Ball's hit out of bounds on the overset. 22-18 in favor of Moline. Nice call on the out of bounds play. Cami Ludwig back to serve, gets the service ace, very nice. So again, something for Geneseo. We talk about, picking up a little bit of wins here and there, and that's a start. So it's a challenge now for the girls to keep that momentum on their side. Cami hits a great spot again. If you notice, I don't know how she's doing it, but she's putting a little bit of a, kind of like you throw a curveball in baseball. She's kind of hitting that way, and then she's making it drop. And so you can see that ball spin, and it's proved very effective. Very, very effective. So I would tell Cami Ludwig to keep hitting the same spot and keep hitting the same serve, because now it's been a shift in momentum to the Lady Leaves, and in turn, we've been able to get a run to get back in this ball game. Ball hits the top of the tape. Score 23-22 in favor of the Lady Leaves. 23-22, Geneseo. Aubrey Van Kierbrock makes a really nice play on that save. Hannah tries a little trickery, but they're able to pick it up. Yes, sent Moline scrambling on the block. Emma Frank gets the block. I think Aubrey Van Kierbrock was up with her. I was kind of excited there for a minute. because I've seen how that play was gonna, really be turning out in favor of the Lady Leafs, and it did. And I was hoping that if they let them continue play, that it didn't drop on Moline's side, that they would have got that double hit that they had on that second over for Moline. But at the end of the day, it didn't matter. And so now it is game point for your Lady Leagues. Thanks to our sponsors, Hazelwood Homes, Geneseo Communications, Turpins of Geneseo, Buzzworks Automotive, Geneseo Fitness, Eric Henderson, and Jolene Effner of Country Financial, Central Bank, Vandermoor Funeral Home, Hammond Henry Hospital, Warwick Pharmacy, Brian Garnett of Garnett Asset Management, and Farmers National Bank. Make sure you thank our sponsors. So the official, when you see an arm that sits what would be perpendicular, I know all you math geeks will love that, perpendicular to the top of the net, that call is over the net, meaning that the player has interfered. So Geneseo, by his call, interfered with Moline's attempt to play the ball. Again, the umpire, a gutsy move again, came over and said he would not have called it. And so that was a replay. And so the ball is hit inbounds by Moline, making the score 24-23. So Van Rickey makes a really nice pass to the middle. Emma Frank, Kylie DeJong made a great save on that block. Aubrey Van Kerbach makes a little shortcut. So what happened there for the folks at home is the ball was hit by Geneseo and it went up and it just barely touched the rafters and went over to Moline's side, so that ball is out of bounds. Point does go to Moline. We're all square at 24. Van Rickey makes a sweet pass. Kylie John just can't get enough juice on it to get it over the net, and so it is match point for Moline. Good pass by Van Rickey, bump set. And back row hit by Hannah is just barely wide. So Moline does win the second game and therefore wins the set. So for the folks at home, saw some nice glimmers in this second game. Good offense, good offensive sets, did some nice keys on blocking. But at the end, again, it's about one of those things, shift in momentum. And it just seemed like when that official had to reverse that replay, that was really where the momentum seemed to shift back to Moline. And so, again, we're live from Geneseo High School for our matchup tonight with the Maroons. The Lady Leaves did lose the match 0-2. And we want to thank you for tuning in tonight. And if I can close by one more time thanking our sponsors, because you know what? Without these people, this broadcast would not be possible. So a shout out to Hazelwood Homes, Geneseo Communications, Turpins of Geneseo, Buzzworks Automotive, Geneseo Fitness, Eric Henderson and Jolene Effner of Country Financial, Central Bank, Vandermoor Funeral Home, Hammond Henry Hospital, Vorak Pharmacy, Brian Garnett of Garnett Asset Management, and Farmers National Bank. Again, this is Linda Vanderlee signing off, saying good night from Geneseo High School.